Welcome to the Mulligan Menace. We have a fun one today. We've got Stoic Kruphix. This is a deck I brewed up dealing with Stoic Sphinx as your main win condition. And then you have a lot of cards to help support it. You're essentially just trying to slow down your opponent, bounce their creatures with like Into the Flood Maw, Aetherizes, and then just get in damage with Stoic Sphinx. Neat thing with Stoic Sphinx, it has flash, flying, 5/3, so it's a beast of a creature. So you really only need to hit 4 times and you can win the game. It has hexproof as long as you haven't cast a spell this turn. So essentially what you're trying to do is get this onto the battlefield at the end of their turn, attacking for 5, and then just sit back with counter spells in your hand and go from there. The other thing, the deck the other card that I kind of built the deck around was Dictate of Kruphix. This is a fun one. I wanted to get some card draw in there. I wanted a flash ability as well in doing that, but I also didn't really care if my opponent draws cards. So this was one where I'm like, well, maybe they'll leave it on the battlefield if I have this there because they're going to benefit too. But little do they know we have enough counter spells that we don't really worry about what they have, and the draw actually helps us more than it helps them. So just a nice little flash, and you get to draw an additional card each turn. So we got Into the Flood Maws. We have 3 steps ahead. 3 steps ahead is really cool because you can counter a spell. So let's say they try to sweep the board. You can counter the sweeper, and then you could also create a copy of something like the Sphinx. So now you got 2 copies. Or you can use the draw ability to draw cards. So that's fantastic. Unable to Scream, just a neat little enchantment. It shuts down opponent's creatures. So that's kind of what it's in there for. Just in case they have something that's very problemsome. And it works out well there. We only have 2 copies of that. Consult the star charts. It's funny because a lot of times you're only paying 2 mana for this spell because you're just searching out certain spells in your deck, and that's what you're doing because you're going to be drawing enough cards with other stuff. Every once in a while, if you have in your hand at the end of a turn and you have nothing else to do, you might drop it for the kicker cost. But what a fantastic card. Disdainful Stroke works really good in this deck, especially against all its planeswalkers or anything pesky like that. Negates are another good one to stop a lot of those decks. You're noticing a trend here. This deck goes hard against things like Jeskai or other control-y type decks. Stock Up, just a fantastic draw spell. You do kind of have to watch this one because you're going to be wanting to wait until this is almost a later game card for you in most situations, unless you're not worried about where your opponent's casting the next turn. Because essentially, with this being a sorcery, you're shutting yourself off for another turn. So a lot of times, this is like a this is a card I play after I get 6 mana on the board, so I still have a counter available, such as 3 steps ahead, if something really does go haywire. And I only really need to cast that if I don't have the stuff in hand. But it is a great late game card for you just to fill your hand back up. Dictate, we mentioned, Aetherize, just fantastic way to slow down your opponent, bounce all their creatures. They always fall for the first Aetherize because you just don't see it a lot. They never fall for the second one. That's kind of the rule here. Once you cast one Aetherize, they're so sketchy to ever attack in with multiple creatures, or their whole force, I should say. So you have that extra benefit that they're not going to be damaging you as much in future turns because they're going to think you're sitting on an Aetherize. We mentioned the Stoic Sphinx, just a beast. We also have 3 Riddlers in here. Fantastic card draw if you really get down there. But otherwise, you just get 1 card for it. But it gives you a nice creature to warp, to cast with the 5 casting cost, 4/6 flyer, easy to get in. It's kind of like your little card draw, but yet you can also cast it for a 4/6 creature. So that's why it is in the deck. Lands, we have the one that can allow you to discard a card and draw a card. And we also have the Village, which allows you to cast your next turn your next card or spell, and can't be countered, which is fantastic against things like, the pesky Jeskai decks and Izzets and stuff like that. So all in all, really fun mono blue deck to play. It actually plays out fairly well, and it does really well against non-creature decks. And you're just going to see how that works. If you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the gameplay. What goes first? We'll try this. We have a Negate turn 3 for them. Unable to Scream, not too bad. Okay. They're not going too fast. We'll probably negate the first thing we are able to. We'll probably wait till at least 4 for this. They do have black mana available. Nice as this gets hexproof. You know what? We're going to negate that. Just because I don't like that second ability either. We don't have a problem with that. We're going to get our Stoic down and then just hold up the counter spells. See what they do here. Creature we don't care about because he's unable to scream. If they tap out all their mana, we'll go after it. We will counter that. Unfortunately, this is going to allow them to kill it. We don't have 6 mana, so we don't have 2 counters available. So let's do this. Man, that would have been great if we could have duplicated. But we'll just draw. We'll discard a land. And hope they don't have removal. Oh, we got lucky. Demolition field. I think we want to keep up our counter just in case. We can go for the card draw, maybe. Which keeps open our 3 steps ahead. It does help them a little bit, but we're good. Another Sphinx is fantastic. We're down to 8. Day of Judgment. We are going to counter, and we're going to create a copy of the Stoic. And then that's lethal. GG. We'll give this one a whirl. We'll keep it. We got a negate turn 2, which is nice. Forest means the Aetherize might be a little more beneficial for us. We'll negate that right away. Let's stock up. 3 steps ahead. And Aetherize. Okay, they get a creature out. Aetherizes are going to end up being really good here. We can Into the Flood Maw and slow them down. Otherwise, we stock up and get a land for next turn. Or... you know, let's do that. We'll kind of let them go a little hard here. Stoic Sphinx. And... kind of want to untap land. We can bounce that. Let's see what they try doing. Interesting. Life Form Harmonizer. Okay. We're going to let him go off. Okay, we're waiting for him to sacrifice that. We'll bounce that. There we go. We even have a Riddler that we can warp in if we want. Otherwise, we got the 3 steps ahead we can use. Stoic might be a good one to get out. Because we got the Aetherizes that can protect us for a little while. And then we can even use the 3 steps ahead to duplicate it. Okay, not too worried about that one. They can duplicate land drops, which is a little frustrating. We can get our Sphinx down. And we hope we draw a land. There we go. Now we can back in. Well, 3 steps ahead, duplicating our creature. And then followed up with an Aetherize on the next turn. Sapling Nursery, not worried about. But we do want an extra creature, so we're gonna do that. That was a pretty much a wasted turn on their part. They don't know what to do here. Alright, Terramorphic. They get that back, and they get the Mole Man trigger. That's fine. We got the Aetherize for next turn. Seven. We can actually Aetherize and Dictate. Otherwise, we can warp here. Let's go for the attack here. I don't know why he's not... I guess we had a creature up, so he didn't attack in. All right. You gonna let us get in here, Pin? $10 damage. Well, we're gonna draw an additional card here. It's kind of a freebie at this point. We still have mana up for Aetherize. Oh, there you go. Now we can even counter if we absolutely need to. Don't have enough to create a creature, but we can draw cards with it. We have 5 mana for that. Basically, anything that gets rid of both of our Sphinxes, we can counter. Otherwise, we can Aetherize. If they don't do enough damage to us, I think we just hold up the counter if they have mana available. Okay, Chocobo. Have to pay 4 to cast this because they already warped it. They could have another one in their hand, though. This creates a tap land. That also creates a tap land. Okay. Well, nothing has reach. I'm not seeing anything that can beat us here yet. Alright, GG. Alright, we go first. We'll try this one. We can get the tap land down first. We don't have any really good cards at the beginning for countering or anything, but we do have the Sphinxes, which is fantastic. We're probably going to end up doing the Dictate. Okay, Zenith. Well, our Aethers are going to be... Oh, shoot, I meant to do that. Well, we're going to probably flash this in a Stoic to try to block. We missed our Dictate. We meant to do that. He could have removal here. Dang it. See, we're deviating from our plan. Let's put that on there. We're going to keep the mana up for our Sphinx. We don't want to be caught off guard again. We definitely misplayed the beginning of this game. We can bounce that if we wanted to. It would be kind of funny. But I think we get this down instead. Let's do this. We want to try to find a counter spell. They're tapped out. Oh, Aetherize. Well, that and a land would work pretty good. We're not really worried about that attack in. Let's do this. We'll attack in. And then we can kind of keep this up with hexproof the rest of the game. Okay. Hold on, we gotta do this. Into the Flood Maw. Bounce that back to their hand. And then this leaves up 3 steps ahead for next turn. And a negate. Ooh. We'll attack in here. Well, let's see if they do the Zenith. Alright, we're really not that worried about the Zenith. We'll take 4. Ooh, into the Flood Maw. Alright, well. Bring them down to 2. And we should have enough stuff cooking here that we shouldn't have to worry. Because we can cast all 3 of these. Okay, can't target our creature. They did put it on the top, though. Oh, it's another draw. So they're going to put counters on everything, probably. Really want them to tap that black mana. Let's negate that. And we still have our 3 steps ahead to counter if they have the removal. Alright, Bitter Triumph. Alright, GG. Alright, let's keep this one. A lot of fun stuff going on here. Okay, we're probably playing against Jeskai, which is kind of a matchup I actually wanted to try out with this deck. Neither of these are great against the Jeskai deck. We need to find land, though. Stands full. This hurts, man. I think we pretty much have to keep open a counter for the rest of the game. Kruphix is actually going to be pretty good, I think. Well, there's our counter. Definitely need to get rid of that one. I got another one. Counter that one as well. Yeah, we don't care about that one. We're going to get our Sphinx down, I think. Come on, we need our land. We'll just back in. Basically, anytime they can... We can't cast anything on there during their turn. Yeah. Don't know why they did that. Okay, well, let's do this to get the card draw going. We can always bounce our creature. Oh, we can't. We can do this, though. Give them a creature. Do that. We kind of got the same trick left in our hand. I'm feeling good about this now that we have 5. We'll attack in. They are down to 8. What an interesting matchup here against Jeskai. Hexproof does a lot here. Okay, 6 mana. What are you going to do with it? We would have loved to have 6 mana to do the 3 steps ahead and create a duplicate creature. Oh. We will do that. We're going to counter. He's going to have land left over. We'll do the counter draw, I guess. We discard. All right, GG. All right, opponent goes first. Let's keep this. See what we got against Bear. Is he green? No. Black. Black, red. Unable to scream might be decent. Black, red, white. Okay. Good old Mardu. Disdainful Stroke's pretty good here. We will absolutely drop Dictate if we get to the end of their turn and they don't do anything. Another Dictate. Another land. That's excellent. Let's see what they do here. Well, that's an easy one to counter. We might even star chart here. Negate is probably what we want to keep. Actually, this one's not bad either. Let's do that. It kind of leaves us open a little bit more. I'm not going to be playing that. We got land we can play next turn. Talent we don't really care about. But do we want to counter it? Probably not. We'll get down more card draw. Another Dictate. Flood Maw. We're probably going to start pitching lands at this point. We need to find our Stoic is what we really need to do. I think we might even... I think we'll do this for the card draw next turn. Yes. We'll pitch a land. Oh, that's kind of funny. We're down to 42. Inevitable defeat. Like, I mean, we're not all that concerned about it. You can just cast another one, or... You can also just counter... Oh, it can't be countered, so... Yeah, I mean, I guess. We'll just get another one down. Could do a stock up. We're looking for Stoics. That's good. Get another 3 steps. We'll discard one of those. Okay. We'll counter. Suppose we could have Stoic'd at the end of the turn. Got another one. We didn't draw land, which is a little unfortunate. Let's do Riddler to try to find land. And then I think we... pass a turn. They're getting to the point where they can start double casting. Like big spells, so we'll actually hold up a couple counters, I think. We might just save up Into the Flood Maw to bounce one of their... If they drop, like... Oh, that's fine. Well, that's a bummer. That gets rid of hexproof too. So we're gonna have to keep up with 3 steps ahead as well. We're gonna have to bounce that eventually anyways. They discarded it? Interesting. Okay. They can make them bigger if they want to do that. That's fine. So he probably has another one of the no order runs. Let's hope he doesn't have third. So we have to discard a card. That might actually come in handy. Riddler, I think, is the one we're going to discard. Did he really have a third one? Okay. Well, that's unable to scream on one of his creatures. I guess it still has the pump up ability, so it really doesn't do a whole lot. Get the Riddler out. And we still have Counterspell available. Can do this. And keep up the counter. Just hoping he's running out of stuff here. He has an Elspeth. I think he just got the game there. That sequence of the 3 no-order runs kind of did us in. Dictate. Let's stock up, see what we can find. Aetherize, Stoic. 6, 7, 8. So we can actually cast both. Aetherize. Stoic, and hope he doesn't have removal. He's got it. See what they do. Yeah.
Join the fight.
I think we could have played this one much better. Definitely we got outplayed in this game. I think we do that. Stoic. We need an Aetherize too. Do we have an Aetherize? We don't have an Aetherize. Do we have a card draw? Probably gonna have to do that. Well, I found the Aetherize. I'm gonna bounce Elspeth. And kind of passed the turn here. We could do this and keep up. Nah, doesn't pay. Ain't no way of Aetherizes. Yep. Currently gonna attack with 1. Yeah, let us hit it. Hit us for 1. We can absolutely kill us here. Yeah, they got us. GG. All right, we go first. That's good because we got some good counter spells. Ah, that's not what we want to see. Aetherize is going to be okay to keep us alive for a little bit. Ooh. Interesting. They're going to have to cast something amazing for us to counter it with 3 steps. Because we got the Aetherize for next turn. Otherwise, we can also do the trick with the Sphinx. Just flash it in and block. Oh, we're not too worried about that. Another Vanguard. Yeah, they saddle. All right. My turn. Pass. This will be an interesting turn here to see what they do. We would love to just bounce everything if that's what they do. Well, this thing's gonna grow. We can Aetherize for a future turn. Maybe we get the Stoic down to just block. This is gonna be a good blocker this turn. think we block here because these cost more. All right. Back in. We are down to 9. We are in trouble. If they try to get funny about how they attack in, we might just see if they're ready for the Aetherize. They are not. Yeah. I mean, they can cast quite a bit here. And then they'll cast maybe a Link. They can shelter, too. Okay. These have been kind of dead cards for us. We can get that down and just use it as a blocker. They're going to gain 1, 2, 3. This is going to go up quite a bit. Kind of just want to bounce that thing. So maybe we consult the star charts on their turn. We'll kind of fake that we have another Aetherize so they don't attack in with everything. We're going to try to bounce the Channeler. Is really what we're trying to do here. Okay. Do they attack in with 3? Just 2. We did find that. So we found that and another consult. We need land here. Into the Flood Maw is going to help us a little. Let's cast this. This gives us card draw. We won't attack in. We got additional blockers. This will make it so they don't want to attack in. Okay, Pride Bait. They might just attack in because these go to another creature. They're going to gain 1 more life off of this. Do they have another creature to cast? Shelter. Okay. We're going to have to block that. So we're going to take 4, 5, 6 damage, 7 damage. We're dead. See if he attacks out. If he... We were waiting for shelter the whole freaking game with the negate in hand. and also the Flood Maw we had in hand. If we'd have left 1 mana open, we didn't draw. We unfortunately did not draw a mana off of our creature. They do see they have the win, right? They don't. They missed that they had the win there. Sure. But we can bounce that. And we get our Riddler back. We can do that as a trick. God, we're just not finding our land. No attack. It is going to cost us 3 mana to do that, unfortunately. Interesting attack. Well, we're going to do Flood Maw. Well, I finally found a land. We block there? I guess this has hex proof. Let's do that. Let's do this. And we'll consult. And stay alive another turn here. Yep, he has another one. No Aetherizes. 3 steps ahead is interesting. Otherwise, Sphinx is just a blocker for us. We can still take 3 if they go all out. We can try it. See how they go. Kind of curious how they're going to attack in. Okay. I think we consult here. Actually, we might just do a draw and duplicate if they... Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's do... Draw 2, create a token. Discard a card. We can block. here and here. And that should shut off the life gain for the drops. We are at 1, though. Can they shelter? They can. Okay, so we got to bounce this. Bounce, create a copy. Well, we kind of just need Aetherize, right? Guess we're not doing anything on our turn, right? Let's see how they attack out. Well, they can pump their team, too. They saddled. Well, we can create a copy, block both. We only attacked with 1. I think we still create a copy, though. We don't have enough for that, do we? All right. Can star chart here, otherwise dictate. I kind of like the dictate. Trade there. Everything is bigger. Resolve all. Dictate. Unstable. I mean, they all have counters on them already, so we got to kind of like bounce it. Do that for 4. We got 8 mana total. Able to scream. Isn't gonna do it. Guess we can leave. So that'd be 3. Aetherize would also work. All right. I don't particularly like that, but I think we're going to have to let that go. I guess we could do this first. Let's look at the top 8. Riddler, Stoic. We have nothing here that can block. And we're going to have Stoic. And we can't cast anything else. He's only going to attack in with 1. And he's going to kill our creature on top of that. Yeah, he's going to attack it with 2, I would think. Although we kind of blow him out if he does, if we have Aetherize, right? So maybe he'll attack him with just the one. We live to fight one more turn. The Flood Maw feels pretty good. We have to have quite a bit of stuff going on here for this to work. I mean, they're at 45. We're going to end up losing this, but it's kind of funny how long we can kind of string this game along. Gonna bounce that. Our creature's coming to play tap now, which really hurts us. Create a copy. Let's see what they do for attacking. Well, they noticed it went fast. They can just attack all in and be fine here. Yeah, we don't have a bounce here. GG, sir. Crazy game. Opponent goes first. We give this one a whirl. We do have Into the Flood Maw to slow them down. I don't think they're going to go too fast here with what we're seeing. Good tap land. Are they graveyard deck? What do they got cooking here? Kruphix. They're gonna counter that. All right. Let's see what they do here. We'll flash in the Sphinx at the end of their turn. They can counter it, but it is what it is. It's not, at least it's on their turn, right? Don't like that they have mana up. Let's just hold our counter. Terrible. They're winning in the land battle here. Super exciting game here. Cast 2 creature or 2 spells and they counter both of them. They did toss Day of Judgment to the bin, which is interesting. I don't really care about the card draw. Counter. Okay. Could have actually made that counter uncounterable. Where's our land, man? Now we don't have enough mana to do that. So yeah, we did actually kind of misplay that. We should have made it uncounterable because we weren't going to do anything else. I think we just hold up for land. Now I just feel bad here. Let's do a stock up. We just need land here. We'll do a land. Negate. End turn. Pass. We're going to discard that. I did mean to... I should have kept that because I wanted to keep that for the Restless Reef. I guess we couldn't cast on Restless Reef. It goes back, so we're fine. We can Aetherize, though. My turn. Another land. And turn. Now we might try Sphinx into Negate. He's going to make the village. Maybe we should have used that before. Because we're gonna be in kind of a counter battle here. Because we would have been able to get this into play, but we still wanted to do it at the end of the turn. Oh, that's interesting. Can do this. Or this. I think we just pay the 3 and let him use another counter spell. Or removal, I guess. Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that. Weird. This might feel weird. Let's get this down. Because we're going to discard otherwise. Can negate that. And now it has hexproof. You can sweep with, like, yeah. Okay. I think we just hold this up. Get Sphinx out. We'll counter if they have a counter. Please pass a turn. Nice. All right. 4. We got 7. Maybe do this and draw a card. Actually, we're going to leave everything available and attack in. GG. All right, Stoic Kruphix. Really enjoying Stoic Sphinx. What a fun card to play around. The fact you can duplicate that with the 3 steps ahead is pretty stellar. Also, this card's just a beast in this deck. All around, I really was enjoying almost every card in this deck. everything kind of saw play for the most part. Unable to Scream probably was the one we seen the least, but ironically, we've been seeing a ton of non-creature decks, which a deck like this works fantastic against. So I'm really happy how this thing played out. Dictate of Kruphix is funny because I was surprised how many opponents went after this, even though they were drawing cards off of it. So it was kind of fascinating to see how much they were targeting this to get rid of it with their Get Lost and everything. If I was them personally, I would have saved the Get Lost because we're both benefiting from drawing cards. But I guess they don't want us to get too many counter spells in our hands. So I guess I can see that. But all in all, man, fun deck to play. I think a couple slight tweaks to this, and it actually could be pretty good on the ladder, especially if you're facing a ton of non-creature decks. Because I think this one can struggle against small creature decks. So like if you're starting to see a lot of like life gain or anything like that, this deck could suffer from a little bit. The only thing that can kind of save you is if you can drop a Sphinx and start blocking as a surprise flash, or just basically have some creatures that you can block with, or if they you actually were able to see this, if they exile this and then you get rid of their creature and bring this back, if they have the 2 mana enchantment, it works out really well. If you're able to bounce their creature with Into the Flood Maw, get your creature back, use it to block. You can do a lot of little tricks like that for what you can do. Definitely should have been playing the village a little bit better last turn. They shut it off. If I would have been using it, I would have been able to get a couple more things in play earlier, but lessons learned. I think this is the type of deck that you need to get like 20 reps under your belt before you're starting to feel like you really get it. So keep that in mind. If you do try to play this deck, you're going to want to play it a lot and really experiment with it and understand how you need to play it against other decks and go from there. All right, if you could, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and have a fantastic day.